On Friday, Vladimir Putin will step foot in Alaska for the very first time. A territory Russia sold to the United States in 1867 for $7.2 million. This time, not to reclaim it, but to meet Donald Trump for a summit that could decide the fate of Ukraine's war. This will be Putin's 8th visit to the US as president, a post he has held since the end of 1999, except for a 4-year handover to Dmitry Medvedev. It also comes with more than a century of history and decades of awkward US-Russia summits. Putin's first visit as Russian president came in 2000 to New York's Millennium Summit. He urged a multilateral approach to world affairs and met Bill Clinton to recommit to arms control and nuclear non-proliferation. In 2001, just 2 months after the September 11 attacks, he became the first foreign leader to call on George W. Bush in solidarity. Putin visited Ground Zero, wrote on a memorial wall, "The great city and the great American nation will win." He also attended a CIA briefing, met Congress leaders, and ended the trip with an informal dinner at Bush's Texas ranch. By 2003, the Iraq war was a sticking point. At Camp David, Putin voiced misgivings but shared a friendly press conference with Bush, agreeing to cooperate in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the so-called War on Terror. In 2004, at the G8 summit in Georgia and at Ronald Reagan's funeral in Washington, Iraq was again on the table. Putin helped Bush secure a UN resolution backing Iraq's interim government. The 2005 World Summit in New York was overshadowed by Hurricane Katrina, but talks focused on Iran and North Korea's nuclear ambitions. In 2007, Putin visited Bush's family home in Kennebunkport, Maine. With tensions high on US missile defense in Eastern Europe, Kosovo, and democratic backsliding in Russia. They fished, talked nukes, and missile shields. Bush later quipped Putin was the only one who caught a fish. In 2015, Putin's last US visit before this week, he attended the UN General Assembly in New York. The mood with Barack Obama was icy. They clashed over eastern Ukraine and Syria, just as Moscow was about to intervene in Syria militarily. The location for Putin's latest visit is historic. Alaska was part of the Russian Empire from the 18th century until Tsar Alexander II sold it to the US in 1867 for $7.2 million. Initially mocked in America as a barren icebox, it turned out to be rich in resources, sparking Russian nostalgia and even jokes about giving Alaska back. It's never been visited by a Russian leader until now. For Trump, this is a feel-out meeting. He says he will know within 2 minutes if progress is possible. He's floated land swapping between Russia and Ukraine without clarifying what that means. Putin's terms are that Kiev cedes the 4 regions Russia annexed in 2022: Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia. Plus, Ukraine drops NATO ambitions, limits its armed forces, and recognizes Russian as an official language. Kiev's position is blunt: no land to the occupier. President Zelensky insists any peace deal must have Ukraine at the table and come with security guarantees. Europe agrees: no deal without Kiev's consent. Zelensky won't be in Alaska. Trump says he'll call him afterward, maybe invite him later. Putin says meeting Zelensky now is a long way off. That absence worries Ukraine and Europe. They fear a backroom deal could legitimize Russia's territorial gains. Even before they land, the trip has its moments. Trump sparked a social media storm after saying, "I'm going to Russia on Friday," confusing Alaska with Russia. Critics pounced and memes flew. But in Moscow, some nationalists welcomed the symbolism. Alaska as Russian America, with Orthodox roots and old fur trade ties. For Putin, Alaska is not just about Ukraine. It's a chance to re-engage directly with Washington, discuss sanctions, trade, NATO's reach, and his broader terms for a new security order. For Trump, it's a high-profile test of diplomacy. It could fizzle in minutes or set the stage for more talks.